Assalamu alaikum.
I actually have time for lunch. Actually have time for lunch.
I am going to try to log in here. I want to make sure that I am everywhere that I am supposed to be if I am streaming. How are you today? If you can see and hear me, let me know in the comments because I can actually, hey, there we go. Comments. Okay. I'm trying to make sure I can see my comments. So we are talking about Ramadan, which is a little over a week away, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about nutrition. So go ahead and, oh good, you can see and hear me. Hey, it's working right. Hey. I'm telling you, because of all of the people who are online, who are streaming, all of these platforms are like changing things and updating things. And so every time I log on, I feel like I have to learn something new. But this is what happens when, I guess, you go digital. It's just constantly updating and changing. All right, wa alaikum salam. Tell me where you're logging in from. I need to start announcing when I'm gonna log on. So I want to share this on a couple pages before and start my Instagram before I get started. So in the meantime, tell me where you're logging in from. Okay, all right. There we go. Now let me get my Insta people on here. Instagram. Okay, I got Instagram, I got Facebook, I got YouTube, I got a whole bunch of stuff. How are you all doing today? It is a beautiful Wednesday, and apparently I feel quite talkative because I just got finished doing an interview for my radio show, and then I was like, why wait till later? Let's go talk to people now and talk to you about what I said I was going to talk to you about yesterday, which is Ramadan and nutrition. So today we are talking about what in the world do you eat during Ramadan to make sure that it is a healthy Ramadan for you. So this is always a really interesting question because every Ramadan people make these grandiose plans. But this Ramadan, I don't think people are making grandiose plans. I think we're just like, let's survive. But this is actually the perfect Ramadan. So if you are just joining me or you've never tuned in, you know that we are talking about having a fit and healthy Ramadan. And my name, which you may not know, is Mubarakah Ibrahim, and I am a health and happiness coach. And I talk to you about living your healthiest, happiest life. And today we are talking about Ramadan, which is about a week and what is it, about a week, 9 days away, I think it is. It is coming up quickly. Pandemic or no pandemic, shutdown, quarantine, it does not matter. Time will move on and Ramadan will come. So inshallah, our names are written as those who will see another Ramadan. And it is a really both physically and spiritually beneficial time. So my philosophy in general with life and with health is that physical, mental, and spiritual well-being is intertwined. The weakness of one weakens them all, and the strengthening of one strengthens them all. So Ramadan for me is extremely special and important, not just for all of the religious reasons, which you could go listen to one of our many wonderful sheikhs about that. Sheikh Omar Salman, Sheikh Sohaib Webb, Sheikh Yasir Qadi, Mufti Mink. I'm not going to talk to you about the spiritual aspects of Ramadan. I'm going to talk to you about how our spiritual and physical wellness intertwines, particularly in this month. And that is the most important thing. So if you think that that's a topic that you're interested in, stay tuned, sit around and chat with me. If you think other people may be interested in, go ahead and share this video and let's bring other people into the conversation. Wa alaikum salam to KJ Gadri1 on Instagram. All right, wa alaikum salam to Ikan and Nafisa and Farah and Shell. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the chat. So I want you to chat. I want you to give me feedback, enjoying the discussion, as well as share so that we can do this together as we always do, but it's going to be a little different this year. So one of the things that I think that is really not talked about enough when it comes to Ramadan is the physical benefits of the fast. And this to me is such a prominent example of how Allah has made this religion so complete, right? Even if you choose not to honor your body, even if you choose not to be of people who are really particular that everything that goes in your body is tayyib, Allah makes it mandatory that during Ramadan, you are going to get physical restoration of the body. Fasting has been prescribed since the beginning of time. We know that Allah says in the Quran that fasting has been prescribed for you as it has been prescribed to those before you so that you may attain taqwa, right? God consciousness. How does that come intertwined with your physical well-being? Well, the God consciousness gained in the Quran cannot be gained unless we do a physical action, right? Islam is not just a religion of spirituality, of belief with no action behind it. 4 of the 5 pillars of Islam are physical actions, right? We believe in Allah, but we have to make salah. That is a physical action. We have to fast in Ramadan. That is a physical action. We have to give zakah. That is a physical action. We have to make hajj. That is a physical action. So all of our spirituality, all of our belief, all of our faith is reaffirmed and it is fortified through physical actions. So we cannot, as much as you may want to, ignore the body. You can't bow down if you can't get down. It is the physical body that creates the connection with Allah, right? It's not just, Allah didn't say just believe in me, right? And that is sufficient. All we have to do is believe, as long as you believe, right? Islam is different from other religions in this aspect. The physical things that you are doing is what reaffirms and what solidifies your faith, right? To physically make salah, to physically fast, to restrain yourself from food and drink. This is a physical act to fortify your spirituality so that you may attain taqwa, right? When you think of taqwa and you think of it in terms of fear of Allah, how do you fear Allah? If you disobey him, right? This is the ultimate test of whether or not you can ignore the very primal desires that we are given as a part of our fitrah as human beings: food, drink, sexual intimacy, Can you ignore those things for the sake of Allah? So it is such a beautiful combination of both physical and spiritual well-being intertwined. They cannot be separated. They are together. So what are the physical well-beings that is intertwined into this month? We know through research and through science today that there are many physiological benefits to the fast, right? So one of those physiological benefits is that your body switches over to actually burn fat instead of glucose. Not only does it switches over to do that to give you energy to go about your daily functions, but it also gives you the energy it also uses that energy to improve your brain function. It improves the mental focus that you have. This is the best time for this improvement because it is a time where you should be critically thinking about your relationship with Allah. So we are physically putting ourselves in a position where our physiology makes it easier for us to complete ibadah, right? Even the Sahabas talked about how important it is for you to pay attention to the physical things that you are doing in order for you to enhance the mental things, right? Umar ibn Khattab, he talked about how you should not overeat at iftar so that you can stand in prayer, right? This is really, really important. The way that we eat, even when we're not fasting, and especially when we are breaking our fast, it is going to be directly related to our energy and our focus on how we're able to do our ibadah at night. Because Ramadan isn't just about the fast, right? We know that it is a time to take advantage of all of the additional spiritual benefits, the extra salah, right? The reading of the Quran, the staying up in the night for worship. How do you achieve those things if you break fast and you are being gluttonous? And many of us, right, at some point in our lives have been guilty of this, have been guilty of breaking our fast and eating so much that we have to unbutton our pants, right? A'udhu billahi min dhalik. May Allah protect us from doing that this Ramadan and every Ramadan thereafter. We should be really conscious. We should be more conscious during Ramadan on how we're eating because it is going to directly relate to whether or not we can complete our ibadah in the evening. So what are some of those things that we should be doing and things that we should be eating in order for us to have more energy, to have more focus, to be able to concentrate on improving our relationship with Allah and doing the physical things that will improve our relationship with Allah, right? So the first thing that I'm going to give you, I have 5 points that I wanted to make, right? So my first point is do not overeat. Be very aware of a couple of things when you break your fast. Number one, you're going to be thirsty, right? We're going 15, 17 hours without drinking anything. How does this affect the way that you're eating? When you are thirsty, your body can interpret it as hunger. And so you break fast with 2 ounces of water and 10 dates, and then you make salah, and then you're starving, right? You're not really starving, you're actually really thirsty. So quench your thirst first before you go to your meal, right? When you break fast, drink lots of water so that your thirst is quenched and you are less likely to overindulge yourself. Right? You can be conscious. That's the first one thing that it's going to do. The second part, it is going to be a part of that sunnah that you should have 1/3 drink in your stomach, right? 1/3 liquid or drink, 1/3 food, 1/3 air, right? This is the sunnah. We should never eat until we are full. You should eat until you're satisfied. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that the believer only needs enough food to keep their back straight. So what does that mean? If you fasted in Ramadan, or you've gone an extended period of time with no food, you literally start to kind of like walk bent over. Your stomach is empty, is hungry, right? You should have enough food that allows you not to have that humped over, I'm starving feeling, but not enough that your belly is full. So break your fast with water, right? If you are going to use your dates, do what you need to. Don't overindulge in dates. So this is another thing that I want to say particularly about dates, right? We read the hadith about the sunnah of breaking the fast with dates, right? And this is the sunnah, and I never ever encourage people not to engage in any sunnah. But don't overindulge. You don't need 5 dates to break your fast. 1, right? 1 date. Start there. Don't fill yourself up. Dates are very sweet. They have a lot of sugar in them. You don't want to overindulge in sugar, even if it's natural sugar, right? So I have this conversation very, very often, as if you follow me on social media, I'm constantly telling people we have to break the addiction to sugar. You have to decrease the amount of sugar that you're eating. And it's not just processed sugar, right? It's natural sugars too. No juice. I come out and I say that all the time. Stop drinking juice. Juice is the most unnatural way for you to consume any type of nutrients. There is no food, no fruit in nature that produces the juice of 7 fruits in one, right? Juice is like the healthy person's soda. You drink juice, but you're like, oh, but it's apple juice. It's orange juice. It has vitamin C in it. No. Oranges were not, the juice and vitamin C was not meant to be consumed without the fiber inside of the orange. The juice inside the apple was not meant to be consumed without the fiber inside of the apple. Why? Because the sugar, the fructose, is natural sugar. It is going to have the same physiological response to your insulin and glucose level as if you ate a candy bar, as if you ate a donut. The only thing that makes the sugar or the sweetness of an apple different than if you're having a donut is the fact that the apple, it's not the sugar, it is what accompanies it. Yes, it has vitamins and nutrients in it, but the sugar is going to have the same physiological response. So if you are drinking juice, if there's one thing, right? So if you're past the point, hey, I don't drink soda anymore, alhamdulillah, and now you're drinking juice, you're giving your children juice, it's a part of your dinner, I say, take it away. Take it completely away. I have 4 children, alhamdulillah, they're all young adults now, 19 to 25, but even when they were little, and they laugh about it now, sometimes they would ask me for juice when they were really small, right? Probably when my kids were, I don't know, before I knew as much as I know now, when they were like, 4, 6, 8, 10. I have 4 children, they're all 2 years apart. I would buy juice, but I never gave them straight juice. They used to ask, can I have water juice, right? I take a little bit of juice and put like 1/3 juice and like 2/3 water. So even as little children, my kids never knew what like a full cup of actual apple juice tastes like. They were just, they were not fooled that it was water juice. They literally would ask for water juice. In fact, my husband and I, we were laughing the other day, reminiscing about when the kids were small. When the kids were small and I was a stay-at-home mom and I homeschooled everybody. And when I would go out and he would have to watch the kids, he would say that he would try to give them like juice and then not put the water from it. And they would give him back and they would be like, no, a bowl of water juice. because they were so used to having the water in the juice that the plain juice just was too sweet for them. And he would laugh. He was like, the kids never even knew what juice was. And then as they got older, I literally just stopped buying juice altogether. And alhamdulillah, now that they are young adults in our house, that we don't buy juice, right? We just, 90% of what we drink is just plain water. We buy filters for the water. But that is kind of like how you have to establish a healthy eating environment for your house and for your children. You want to make sure that as you are creating healthy habits, and we do this a lot, right? Particularly as women who have different goals about our body and about our fitness level than men do, or than what our children do, is we'll say, and I get this a lot when you know, I have a client, well, how do I not create 2 meals? Your healthy eating habits should be something that you're able to share with your family, right? You should not say, I'm going to eat healthy, but I'm just going to, you know, go to McDonald's and get the kids something. It should be something that you should spread both ways. So I'm getting off into a tangent. We're still talking about nutrition in Ramadan because I can talk all day about this kind of stuff. But so the first part is, make sure that you're drinking sufficient water when you are breaking fast, right? So that you aren't interpreting thirst as hunger. The second part of it, and I think that I alluded to it, don't overindulge in sweets. You don't need 10 dates. You don't need dates stuffed with jelly and nuts and just, you know, a date. Keep it as simple as possible. You don't need dessert every single night. I think that this is something that a lot of people and times I myself have in the past have fell into, is every night is a celebration of breaking fast. Every night is a celebration of, oh my God, we get to eat. And so whereas throughout the year, you normally have dessert maybe 2-3 times a week, but in Ramadan, every night there's a dessert. There's ice cream, there's cake, there's cookies. The beautiful thing, so the silver lining inside of this particular Ramadan, right? Because Allah says in the Quran that with every difficulty that there is ease. So we know that there's always going to be a silver lining, always going to be a lesson. The silver lining, one of the many silver linings of this year, is that you are going to be completely responsible for your entire menu and meal plan. There is no going to the masjid for iftar, for potluck. There is no being invited over your friend's house. So all of the excuses for not eating healthy, for being off of what you would normally eat, is completely removed, right? We have social distancing. We will be sad that we could not gather together as we normally do, but this is a silver lining of it, right? There's no excuses. You are completely responsible for your nutrition this Ramadan. There's no excuses from anybody else, right? And it's really interesting because what I thought about when I thought about kind of like this aspect of complete personal responsibility, it reminds me of the fact that the shaitan is locked up during Ramadan, right? So not only do you have complete spiritual responsibility, what you do this month cannot be attributed to the shaitan, but you have complete physical responsibility for your health and your nutrition. Right? They're going to mirror each other this year, right? So you can change the way that you're eating and stick to that change during this month because you have complete personal responsibility. So making sure you're hydrated, making sure that you are reducing sugars. So I'm not impractical. I'm not saying don't have dessert the entire Ramadan. I'm saying have specific days. Okay, I'm going to make a cake every Friday. But other than that, you don't need to make cake. Or 2 days a week, whatever everybody's at a different level, wherever your level is. But be really specific with yourself, right? Don't say, well, I'm just going to make dessert 2 days a week. because if you're not going to say exactly what those days are, you're not going to say when those days are, right? It's just going to backfire on you. Sastra said, I want healthy eating, but can avoid sugar. You can avoid sugar, I promise you. So I have a free guide if you go to 10-day sugar rehab. So 10, the number 10, daysugarrehab.com. You can download a free guide and follow what is in that guide. In that guide, I have a list of foods that you can eat during the 10 days, a list of foods that you should minimize, and a list of foods that you should completely avoid. If you can do 10 days with no sugar, your sugar addiction will be broken, right? So that craving of sugar that I can't stop myself, it can be gone, but you have to do it. You have to do it cold turkey. You can't tell yourself, oh, I'm just going to decrease sugar. We know through much research that that does not work. If you're going to break a sugar addiction, you do have to do it cold turkey. Rehad asks, what are some of the exercises during Ramadan? Yesterday, I did a live on the Fit Muslimah page, and it is on Instagram. It is in my IG TV stories on exercise. So I suggest that you go and you review that. So the next thing that I want to reiterate for the month of Ramadan is that you make sure that you are eating lots of nutrients in terms of your vegetables. Have a variety of vegetable. Have a vegetable every single night. Have more than one if you need to. One of the kind of primary base rules for healthy eating that I teach people is that your plate should have at least 3 colors on it. So besides you doing some extensive research and knowing exactly which foods have which nutrients and what you need, how does a regular person have variety in their diet and making sure they're getting all of the nutrients that they need? The best way for you to do that, as a general rule, is that when you sit down and you look at your plate, it should have at least 3 colors on it, because colors are directly related to nutrients, right? So we know that things that are orange has vitamin C, has keratin in it, right? So the colors of your food is directly related to your nutrients. So when you look at your plate, if you have some chicken, some rice, and some corn, they're all really similar. And by the way, corn is a starch, not a vegetable. Technically, the plant is a vegetable, but nutrient-wise, it is a starch. So you should not have rice and corn. Have one or the other. That is a fourth tip. Be conscious of the amount of carbohydrates that you are eating, because carbohydrates turn into sugar when they go in your body, right? So that's important for you to know. You should try to avoid having 2 carbs, right? So people will have potatoes and rice, or rice and pasta. People really do. Certain vegetables have a lot of carbohydrates in them, and as a result, they're actually absorbed more like a carbohydrate than they are a vegetable. One of those vegetables is corn, right? Another one of those vegetables is peas, right? The little small peas, not the string beans, peas. Those should be treated as carbohydrates, right? Winter squash, right? It should be treated as a carbohydrate. I know that this is scandalous to say, but you don't need rice every night. You just don't, okay? I know it's scandalous, but just trust me. You do not have to eat rice every night. When you are looking at your plate, okay, you want 3 sections. You want 3, not sections. You want 3 colors, right? If you can get that to 5, that's awesome. I tell people, make sure you're having a cooked vegetable every night. And somebody on Instagram just asked me, well, why do you say a cooked vegetable? I say cooked vegetables because I would love for people to remove out of their head that they're going to use lettuce leaves as a vegetable. Lettuce has so few nutrients in it. I want you, not that it's not healthy, not that it is not good, you can have a salad, but don't include that as your actual vegetable. Make your salad your appetizer. Make it your extra, right? Make it the thing that you're going to have just to kind of like feel satisfied. Don't make it your vegetable. Have a cooked vegetable on your plate every single night. In addition, I recommend that you actually have a cooked vegetable with your sahur in the morning. We are skipping a whole meal during that day. We are skipping where you would normally have, a snack of some nuts or a piece of fruit or whatever you would normally have during the day. The amount of nutrients that you're having is decreased. So you should try to increase nutrient-dense foods wherever you can, and those two things are going to be your sahur and your iftar. Right? So if you want to have eggs in the morning, make it an omelet, right? If you're going to have oatmeal, add some berries on it, right? Try to add those extra little bit of nutrients at both meals. Ayan said, how often should I eat eggs? As often as you would like. So it's really about how you get the nutrients is not important as you getting the nutrients in. If you want eggs to be your protein every single day, go for it. If you want chicken to be your protein every day, go for it. Whatever it is that fits inside of your lifestyle, whatever, as long as you're getting the macronutrients. I have a large focus on macronutrients. You want to eat protein. So one of the things that I remind people is that although you may like green smoothies and you're putting lots of spinach in there and you make it healthy with not a lot of high sugar fruit and it's the best green smoothie ever, it is not the best choice for sahur. Vegetables are digested very quickly. You are going to be very hungry during the day. Now, if you made a green smoothie and you put some Greek yogurt in it, you put a scoop of protein powder in it, you have it on the side after you eat 2 scrambled eggs, that would be wonderful. You need to make sure that you have protein. And having protein in the morning is not just about, I'm trying to avoid feeling hungry. When your body is digesting the food, it is producing energy for you. So that is the concern, because I've also heard pushback like, you can't try to adjust your sahur so that you're not feeling hungry because the whole purpose of the fast is so that you can feel hungry. So first of all, the purpose of the fast is not for you to feel hungry, right? Allah clearly says the purpose of the fast is for you to gain taqwa. There's nothing to say that we're supposed to fast so that we can starve, so that we will know what it feels like to be in famine. So that is stuff that people add that's extra. Allah did not say that. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not say that, right? The purpose of the fast is for you to gain taqwa, right? How you do that will vary according to individual and wherever your station of your iman is. So, for our purpose, what I am trying to express to you is the physiology of how the food is going to affect your energy level. You should have protein in the morning so that you can have energy. You should have protein in the evening so that you can have energy, because it is going to it is going to keep you full longer. So that means that you're not going to be as hungry. You will eventually get hungry, but it will also sustain your energy throughout the day or as long as possible, right? So if you're having fruits and vegetables for sahur or nothing, you are going to run out of energy sooner than if you had an egg omelet with some berries. So that is really the whole point of the protein. Someone asks about milk. If you can have milk, if it agrees with you, and that's fine. I have no problem with milk or yogurt or kefir. All of those are great sources of balanced protein. They have both carbohydrates and fat, or all three, carbohydrates, fat, and protein in them. I think that is all 5 of my points. I'm going to review really quickly for people who came in late. We talked about how important it is for you to be hydrated and drink lots of water when you break your fast, because you do not want to sit down and eat and your body or your mind rather, is interpreting thirst as hunger, right? That's a way for you to not overindulge, to make sure that you're feeling hydrated. The second thing is to reduce the amount of sugar that you're eating in. You do not need to, you don't need to have 10 dates, have one. Limit desserts to 1 or 2 days a week. Don't eat that every single night. Make sure that you are having a variety of nutrients. Have vegetables, try to include it in both your sahur and your iftar. Right? So when you look at your plate, there should be at least 3 colors on that plate. Make sure that you are having protein, right? So you want to have a protein source for sahur. You want to have protein with your iftar, right? That is really important. Do not overindulge in food so that you can be able to complete your ibadah, right? So we don't want to just fast. We want to take advantage of every sort of spiritual blessing during this month. And you can't do that if you are breaking your fast with a whole bunch of carbohydrates and sugar, and then right by the time you make Isha, you're just too tired to get up to make Taraweeh. And even though we will not be making Taraweeh in the masjid, when you sabotage yourself, right? I'm tired, then you're going to use the excuse, I can't make it on my own because, I'm not in the masjid. I can't make it on my own because I'm not a hafiz of Quran. You can still do it, right? You don't have to say the entire Surah Al-Baqarah. Say what you know. Still make the Taraweeh. But in order for you to be energized and motivated to do that, what you eat is going to affect that. Try not to overeat and overindulge. And so, inshallah, this is beneficial to you, beneficial to your family. Share it. Review it again if you'd like. If you would like to get a full plan of exactly what you should eat and how much you should eat, you can go to RamadanBlueprint.com and you can get the Ramadan Survival Guide. Inside of that ebook, it's immediate access. Then it's going to give you all of the details of what you should be eating, what you should be drinking. I have a water schedule based on your salah. So inshallah, you can take advantage of that as well. All right. So until tomorrow, we are doing a Ramadan countdown. And inshallah, tomorrow I will be giving some productivity tips. How do you stay productive during a quarantine Ramadan? So make sure that you subscribe to the live streams for this on Facebook. I'm not sure if you could do that on Instagram. You do that on Instagram? Not sure. But if you can, do it. And I think you can do it on YouTube. So I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook. Look me up in all of those locations under Fit Muslimah. Oh, I'm on Twitter and Periscope too. Fit Muslimah, FITMUSLIMAH. All right. Sastra said, what time will I be streaming? I am not sure because I have a couple of clients tomorrow. It will be in the afternoon, but I promise I will post something to say what time I'm going to stream, because I know I keep popping up and people are like, oh, I didn't know you was going to be on. Most of the time I didn't know I was going to be on either. But I promise that today, by tonight, I will post what time I will be on tomorrow, and we can talk about productivity. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to comment below this video or send me a DM. I read those as well. All right. Talk to you tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum. I want to show this to my studies. All right.